And I would like to call to order the July 8th Addison Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's have a roll call of the members present.
Jay Sandler.
Here.
Tony Sweeney, absent excused. Ed Brakefield.
Here.
Vice Chair Smith.
Here.
Chair DeWitt.
Yes, here.
Phil Marshall.
Here. The first issue on would be we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Also move.
Second. All in favor of the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Next would be the approval of the minutes from our June 10th meeting.
I'd like to make that motion that the minutes of June the 10th, 2021 be approved.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion or changes? Okay. Hearing there's nothing there, can we have a roll call vote on the
Jay Sandler.
Approved.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Phil Marshall.
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith.
Yes.
And Chair DeWitt.
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Okay. The next item on the agenda would be our deliberation on our case number 21-3. The applicant is Michael and Jeanette Hardnoff. The parcel address is 1517 Rochester Road, Leonard, Michigan, 48367. Parcel number is 05.27.276.025. Zoning is residential -1 or R-1. Estimated parcel size is platted. The applicant seeks a dimensional variance from the Township of Addison Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, Article 4, Section 4.26.2A of the Addison Township zoning ordinance. The applicant requests a dimensional variance of 100 feet and fully in the front yard to allow construction of a fence. Article 4.262A fences in other than A, N-1 or N-2 districts, unless specifically provided otherwise, shall conform to the following requirements. Fences on all lots of record in all residential districts which enclose property and or are within a required side or rear yard shall not exceed 4 feet in height measured from the surface of the ground, and shall not extend toward the front of the lot nearer than the front of the house unless the location of the fence is approved by the zoning board of appeals. Subject to a finding that the fence will not impede pedestrian traffic or interfere with the view, will be compatible with the character of the building and other fences in the area and can be reasonably maintained. Okay, at our last meeting, the public hearing was closed. This is our deliberation meeting. We do give the applicant a chance to make any more comments to the board. So if you have any comments or thoughts you'd like to share with us or additional information, please do so.
I think I've covered everything. I'm pretty sure everybody. I'd like to just mention I gave all the information I did last time we were here, and I'm pretty sure everybody did the research and went over it.
You speak a louder.
I said I presented everything to the meeting last time I was here, and hopefully everybody looked at what I presented and really don't have too much more to say than what I did last meeting. I'm open for questions, though, if the board has any questions. Or this is all new for me, guys. I don't know what else to say. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Could you describe verbally the columns again that you're proposing on either side of the driveway? What are they made of? How are you going to put them together?
Okay.
What are they going to be sitting on?
All right. Right now, they're called hardscape columns. Okay. My neighbor on both sides have them. They'll be sitting on gravel. Okay. Padded down gravel, and they're brick form. And this is a common thing that they do these days. Is they take the brick and they stack them into a column, and then they put a limestone cap on top of them, or a brick, configuration cap on.
You're saying brick, as in brick and mortar.
No, I'm talking brick and hardscape. Like,
Hardscape would be like broken concrete.
okay, well,
Such
this
as
is the
that
way
rock,
this
broken
is the
concrete.
way they described it on here, but I can, it's block. It's rectangular block,
Cinder block?
not cinder block,
Okay.
decorative block, hardscape block.
Okay.
That's, I guess,
But there's no concrete at all?
no,
Okay.
no. No, I gave you an example of the neighbor 2 doors down. I showed you pictures.
I don't care about the neighbors.
No, but I'm
Just
saying
you.
that's exactly the same type of brick, that's the same type of hardscape, that's how that one's constructed, so I gave you the example.
Okay.
So that you would have an idea exactly how it looks and how it's formed and everything else.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that brick and mortar is not even in the picture.
That's correct, there's no brick and
And the
mortar,
foundation is actually gravel.
that's correct.
Okay.
Did our building official okay the construction of the pillars and whatnot? And basically, we are to be giving you a relief of the 100 feet. Is that the main item on the agenda, really?
That's correct.
Because I read some of that and whatnot, and it looks to me like he said that, or in his interpretation, that if he said it was okay to use that type of stuff, it was okay, but you couldn't do it because of the 100-foot relief you need. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Jay, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't.
Bill? No. Any other questions from anybody else?
The only other thing too is inside your, I just made sure that the fence didn't impede, the traffic, pedestrian traffic, interfere with the view, and will be, with the character of my other neighbors and everything on here, I think I conform to. There's no issues with those items. So I made sure of that. That's the only other comment I want to say.
Good. Okay. There's no more comments or questions. I would ask for a motion to approve or deny the variance request.
We're having a hard time trying to figure that, because the 100-foot was not something that you had no control over. You have control over that 100-foot area. Line 1 is, this variance, is it something that you could not control? For example, the property shape or something like that. What the 100-foot variance is in your control, correct?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, the fence, you do not have to have a fence up.
Okay, this is not a fence, this is a hard square.
Or the hard.
Well, see, this is what I have a problem with, to tell you the truth, okay? If you put up there's many people that put up mailboxes.
Right.
With hardscape, this is the same thing. They put them right in front of their houses. They got mailboxes that are, 15 feet off the road, and they're all hardscape mailboxes, and they're pillars, and they put the mail in it. And that's pretty much all I have here. There's other people that have posts in front of their house, like my neighbors, and they do the same thing, and they have, they have lanterns on. This is not a fence. this is Doug's interpretation of what he needed from the board to approve just hardscape pillars in front of my house, okay?
We're still getting off, you keep bringing up hardscape, you're bringing up the columns, you're bringing up all of this stuff. But what we're here for, the applicant requests dimensional variance 100 feet fully in the front yard to allow construction of a fence. Now you're saying it's not a fence.
That's his interpretation. He needs you guys to, and I'm caught in the same dilemma as you are, you know. I asked him, if I just put up brick columns, is that okay? And he says, well, no, it isn't. I need the board's approval because that's a fence-like environment for me. And that's the whole thing that I struggle with too. Now, what I struggle with is I could have just put them up myself and just seen what the township would have done, like my neighbors did. They didn't ask for any approval. Doug seeks this approval. I'm trying to satisfy his needs. And, you know, I'm trying to do things right. And I paid my money, I try to do things right, so it appeases everybody. I think aesthetically it would look great. I know that there's many people that have,
And it's far off the road.
you know, it's off the right of way, off the road. I should be able to put any kind of structure, not structure, but actual, should put any kind of little pillar I want on my land anywhere I want to without any kind of being regulated, you know. I've got rock walls that I put up
It's
in
not
front of
next to the road. It's not next to the road. It's, you know.
So, you know, Doug's the one who wants this approved, so when I do put up these hardscape pillars, that it conforms to the same thing as a fence would be, I guess. And I'm trying to do the best I can here to, you know, to interpret.
See, if your request had a read.
No, this is Doug's request for me to put these
Yours.
in there.
This right here. The applicant requests dimensional variance to allow for a hardscape pillar in front of his house. But it's not. It's a relocation of a fence. That's what we're here for tonight.
Okay.
You keep bringing up hardscape pillars. It has nothing to do with the fence. They're pillars.
I tried to explain that
Okay.
I tried to explain that to Doug exactly the same way you did, and he says that this is a fence environment, and for me to build them, this is what I need to build these pillars. I'm not trying to argue with you or give you a hard time, but this is what we needed.
And I don't believe that these pillars constitute the definition of a fence in our ordinance.
That is correct. And if they did fit the definition of a fence, then we would have something to work with. But they do not fit that dimension. They're not a fence.
That's
They're
correct.
hardscape pillars. That's my problem.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this, and the thing is
Just don't want to put them up and have somebody tell us.
yeah, I don't want to put them up and then have someone tell me to take them back down. I'm trying to do things the right way. I've explained this to Doug. He says it's a fence environment. I'm not going to go against Doug and make him mad and tell him, no, this is not a fence. Okay, and this is where I struggle with too, gentlemen. I don't know what else to say to you. You know, my neighbors have them on each side of me, and there's other people that have mailboxes that are similar to what I'm trying to do, and, you know, I'm pretty sure people have address blocks with lights on top of them too. That's existing. So I don't know if I get this denied from this board, how I can talk to Doug and say, they said it wasn't a fence, they denied me, I can put up these hardscape pillars according to the board. And I don't know how Doug's gonna react to it. He might say, no, it's a fence and this is all to it. So that's my dilemma.
I wish there was an answer. I wish I could just say, okay, we'd like to make a motion to allow you to put your hardscape pillars up. Easy enough. But that's not what you're here for.
this is what Doug told me I have to come here. He looked at this proposal, and this is what he asked me to get from you guys to build these pillars. I know it isn't. So, all I can say is there used to be a fence a long time ago, like when I wrote my letter to the board, I said there was a crow fence. I got a picture of what it used to look like before I took down my fence that was there originally, because it was dilapidated. Can I approach the bench and show you a picture of what it used to look like and help? Even if I did get a variance for a fence and Doug said, okay, you got your variance and I build my pillars up, it wouldn't hurt either way. I'm looking at it, so I don't know.
Sure, you can approach and show us. I have just a general question maybe for the board. We can make a motion that, yea or nay, or an interpretive motion to say that this is not a fence, this is not a fence within the definition of the zoning board, and then send it back to Doug to, give him his permit to put up his pillars.
That would be great.
Or deny the request or approve your request as presented. I think that's our three options here.
I believe Doug probably, and I'm not going to speak for Doug, but he's looking at this hardscape as a structure. And that's why I was specifying, it's not cinder block, it's not brick, it's not mortar, you don't have a foundation, it's hardscape.
It's landscaping.
In our ordinances, it's brick, mortar, concrete, foundation, wiring is a structure, which at that point, we would almost have to deny it, because in your area, we cannot approve a structure. Since it's hardscape, it's landscaping, my thinking is we would like to make that motion to send it back to Doug for his opinion on the hardscape and deny the fence itself. Is that what you were suggesting?
Yeah, an interpretive motion of the zoning ordinance. Yeah. And if this, in other words, I'm not making a motion, but the board feels that this is not a fencing zoning ordinance issue, but a landscape issue, and he should be, in our opinion, he should be allowed to proceed with his hardscape.
Yes.
I have a question. Okay, this fence, you're calling it a fence, is it man-made or is it vegetation?
It's gonna be both.
Because I know the last meeting you talked about shrubs or,
That's what I'm gonna put in between these columns, that's correct. Last time we were here, right now, my wife won't let me she doesn't want me to put a fence in between them because it costs too much money, so we were just gonna put these brick columns and,
now, are you calling that part as a fence?
They're just shrubs.
they're shrubs. But maybe that's Doug's interpretation too, and that's another, yes, maybe he's looking at it as a fence with shrubs, but shrubs are really not a fence, they're just landscaping again. So, all I know is, I struggle with this a little bit, and I'm trying to be positive about it, and trying to, work it all out the best I can. That's all I'm trying to do.
How many of these heart-shaped things you plan on putting in?
4 of them.
And I've got to be honest, it took me a while. I had to go on the internet and look up hardscape columns to get my mind focused away from brick, mortar, and foundation.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Okay.
And speaking for myself, I have no real problem It's just what you're here for, it's not what you're here for.
So I'm frustrated with that too, and I explained that to Doug, and he said, no, you have to get this approved by the board. And this is where I'm in the middle.
Hopefully you'll be okay,
And I, you know, I'm trying to do the best. I
we'll
can.
figure out a solution.
Ed,
Yes, sir.
I think what the building official has told him that these 4, whatever they are, can be put anywhere on his property he wants, within the ordinance.
Yes.
So there's gonna be 4.
There's gonna be 4. He can put them on his property within the ordinance, our zoning ordinance. Our zoning ordinance also says that you can't put things in your front yard. And so, that's why we're here, is the 100 feet. So, the question of what he's gonna do, he has explained to us, he's gonna have these 4 columns with some greenery in between, which doesn't make it a fence because it's not solid.
Right.
And it doesn't obstruct the vision of the neighbors or the traffic or et cetera. So like I'll repeat again, Doug said it's okay to do it, but he said, well, I want to do it in my front yard. And Doug said, well, you can't do it in your front yard. Doug says, you go to the ZBA, and if they say you can do it in your front yard, then you can.
Yeah.
And I think that we understand what he's doing. He's off the right of way. He's back, kind of concurring with the neighbors, et cetera, that are around him. And he needs the 100 feet to put it in line with the neighbors and kind of maybe look like it should in the neighborhood. You know, he could have put them at 50 feet, but, you know, it looked kind of funny at 50
Right.
feet, halfway between the road and halfway between his house.
Right.
So he does need this 100 feet, and if someone makes a motion that we allow him to put up what he has proposed and give us, he's given us drawings and everything, what he's gonna do. If we say he does it that way with the, a reference of the relief of 100 feet, then that's the end of it. So we can have a motion to do that, and if it doesn't pass, well, then I guess you can't do it. But I think if someone would make a motion to that effect,
we can
we can go from there.
deviate a little bit from what his request is for a fence and do the columns or the hardscape. Make a motion to approve the 4 hardscape columns
Along with the 100-foot variance.
along with the 100-foot
That
variance.
was all right with me if somebody made that motion.
Did you get that? Can you say it again?
How tall is vegetation?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Go ahead and make the approval of the 4 hardscape columns, as long as it falls in the 100-foot variance. I believe I've got it right.
It conforms to his drawings.
And then conforms to his drawings.
And we need support. That's-
Oh, I would support that.
Great, and that's for approval?
Approval, yes.
Okay, so just for clarification purposes. Do we need a roll call vote on the motion?
Yes.
Jay Sandler,
I'm not voting because I wasn't here last week, or last month.
Philip Marshall,
Yes.
Vice Chair Smith,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Chair DeWitt.
Yes.
Okay, I've got a technical question. 4 votes, do we still have quorum to make that? We do, don't
Yes.
we?
We ought to.
We'll have to have 3.
Or I can't vote, I mean, I read all the paperwork and visited the property.
We met.
We only have to have 3 to vote.
Oh, we only have 3.
You're out.
Well, we got 4 out of
And we had 4.
6, so we got 4.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, okay, motion passes.
Good job.
You got it.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for your patience.
You too, sir.
More than anything, I really do appreciate that. It's, like I said, I didn't know how to go about this. This is my first time, and I do appreciate your patience.
Thank you.
All right, so now I can, is there, from this point on, how do I notify the township that you guys, will Doug get this information? So
Yeah,
do I
I
have to
contact
wait
the
for
clerk's office in the morning, I believe that's the process. I gotta sign off on it, and then once, but it'll go through pretty rapidly, but I'll check with the clerk's office in the morning.
And do I have to, then can I, when do you think, and I'm not rushing this, I just want to make sure I do this the right way, in order, for my landscaper to continue on doing that, is there, do I have to get any authorization paper to show Doug or anything, it's approved, and I can just say, go ahead and start doing it.
I'm not certain of that. I think it's an
So
inter-office
you can-
issue.
This motion automatically gave him approval, if you should sign it or not. Gary, it's just paperwork now.
Yeah, it's just paperwork, so.
Okay, so I don't have to talk to Doug or anything, I can go ahead with
Well,
that.
I would check with the
I would
clerk's
check with the office.
Yes, check with the office.
Okay.
It's just paperwork, but it's gotta be completed.
Fair enough, thank you very much, gentlemen.
You don't wanna get ahead of yourself.
Thank you.
Just check with the clerk.
Thank you, yeah.
Okay, the next agenda item.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Yes, sir. You're welcome, man.
Your many years of experience.
Thanks, sir. The next agenda item is election of officers, the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. And I believe we have some discussion and proposal on that.
Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that we postpone the election of officers until the next regular meeting. And the reason for that is all of the appointed members are not here. We have one absent tonight, and I think it would be in best interest of our board to postpone that one.
I'll second it.
Roll call vote?
Bill Marshall,
Yes.
Jay Sandler,
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes?
Vice Chair Smith.
Yes.
Chair DeWitt.
Yes. Okay, next agenda item would be open for public comments to the board. Nobody?
I've got a comment.
Sure.
Again, Lawrence Smith, your knowledge is incredible. Thank you again for helping us out on that last one. I was stumped.
Okay, and thank you. Thank you for the comment.
All right, anybody else from the audience that want to make a comment to the board?
Just one more thing. I didn't find out about Chuck Sargent until a couple weeks after he passed away. I don't know if anybody else found out. Did you know about Chuck?
I did, not through any official,
I apologize. I thought the township had contacted everyone.
No, so I just make everybody here, they should know it, and I didn't find out in time.
Well, he didn't have a funeral.
No, I know that.
On the 17th, they're gonna have
Got a
a
memorial at
memorial.
Coach in Rochester.
Yeah, so,
Just so everybody knows about it.
Thanks, Lance.
Yes.
Anybody else from the public have a comment to the board? Hearing none, we'll close the public comment period, part of the agenda. Okay, next would be other business. Any correspondence received by the board or want to share? Next would be the zoning board reports. I don't think there's any reports we need to share. All right, report from the planning commission liaison.
Planning Commission is in order, nothing out of the ordinary.
And finally, we need a motion to adjourn.
also move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.